Okay, so in this video we're going to be changing the oil and filter on an Audi A7 3 litre TDI. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the air filter, which is located right here. First, disconnect the MAF sensor and the clip attached to it. Now it just pulls off, it will grip back on, but just tuck that out of the way. So now we've got to remove the circular part of the housing, which is released by that clip and the twist. An anti-clockwise twist, as you see I'm doing here. You're going to have to give it a little bit of manhandling, but nothing major. Just work it off and that'll expose the air filter itself, as you can see there. So now you've got access to the air filter. Use two hands and give it a good pull up, and there you see it coming out. All that dust on top of it as well. Just work it around the actual intake hose itself and you'll be able to pull it out. Just showing you how dirty it is here. So it was well needed a change. So I used a MAN filter, which are good OEM, original equipment manufacturer specification air filter. I use them a lot. You can see I'm just comparing them there to make sure they're the same when I'm putting them in, so I don't have any issues. These are good quality filters. They do a lot for manufacturers. So like I said, OEM spec. Now's your time to clean out inside that air filter box. Just make sure it's all tidy in there. Grab anything you can, and then you can put in your new air filter. Once you put it in, make sure it seats. You'll feel it seat. Have a look if you have to. And then it's just about putting on the air filter housing and locking it all back up again. Just a reverse of taking it off. So just put it anti-clockwise and then lock it in. You should hear it lock. The clip will lock in, and just have a feel around to make sure it's all sealed properly. So now we're going to be putting on the mass airflow cable. Start with the clip, just to clip it back in its location spot. You'll see it when you get closer. You'll see exactly where it comes from. And then just plugging in the MAF sensor. And then just tucking in that locking piece. Yeah, there you go. And that's all done. It's all secure now. Simple as. So now we're on to working and drain the oil out of the car. Just lift up the engine cover that just comes off of a few lugs. And we're going to be extracting this through the oil dipstick. Now this new car doesn't have an oil dipstick. It has the port, but no dipstick itself. But just grab the top and just pull it out. It doesn't actually twist, it just pulls, as you see I'm doing here. And this is what it looks like. You'll see it there. There you go. So using my 32mm socket, I removed the oil filter housing. Just released it so it can just start to drain off. Once it's loose enough, undo it by hand. And while we're waiting for that to slightly drain off, we can start to extract the oil from the engine. Now it's best to make sure that it's a little bit warm, because once it's warm, the oil will flow a little bit more easier into the extract pump itself, which will be available on my website, link in the description. So there you go, it's just extracting it out. While we're waiting for that, we're going to change the oil filter. Try and grab it in something, a rag or box or something, just so it doesn't drip all over the engine. So now we've got the oil filter off, which is located on top of the housing itself. Just pull it apart, it just pulls undone. And now's the time to check your oil filter housing. So just to make sure you've got the right part. That just clips in, as you can see I'm doing right there. And then what we need to do is change the seal around the oil seal, around the oil gasket housing itself as well, because if you don't change it, it will leak. And this should come with your filter if you bought a good quality filter. Like I say, I always use MAN because they're very good quality in my experience. But you know, you can ask your supplier, car part supplier, what is good. But I've always found these to perform well. Just wiping off and clean up any oil mess residue that might be around, and just reinstalling it back to where it came from. See what I'm doing there? Just twist it in by hand as much as you can, and then it's just about finishing it off with your torque wrench or just a ratchet. I've done loads of these before, so I just do it by hand. So now the oil extraction is finished. It takes a little while. Try and make sure that you expose of this in an environmentally friendly way. I know there will be drips, but just try and do the best you can. So now with everything extracted, we're going to add our specified oil back into the vehicle. You can see what I'm doing here using the funnel. It makes it a lot easier, saves you a lot of mess. and just get the right amount of oil in there. I don't remember exactly how much litres it required, but I do know that your car part supplier should tell you. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I bought 2 of these bottles, which I think came up to 9 litres, but I didn't put both of them in, or all of both of them in. So once you've done that, just clean up any oil mess that might be around, put the cap back on because you don't want anything dropping inside the engine, and go inside your car and check your oil level. Now you've got to make sure your car's on a level service, both for the extraction and for reading the oil level itself, but mine is bang on. So now don't forget to replace your dipstick plug, stick it in there, and just wipe off any oil residue that might be lying about. We're putting back on the engine cover, just fits in some locating lugs. And once again, we just clean up any spilt residue that might be hanging around anywhere. Okay, so now we're changing the cabin filter, the pollen cabin filter. So that's located in the passenger side footwell. Now, I'm sorry about the footage, but I didn't realize till afterwards. There's this foam kind of cover at the bottom there, which kind of goes onto 2 hooks, and it's got like a screw holder in the middle. There's 3 in total. So I've actually taken it off and just shown it there. The footage was terrible, so I've just kind of skipped a piece. Once again, my apologies for the poor footage. So once that's all off, just pull it down. See, it comes out pretty easy. And now we've got access to the pollen filter itself, which just pops off on the edge and just comes out of it's levered into one side almost. Now we're just manhandling the pollen filter itself. It's a little bit awkward in the footwell because it's quite deep, but it's pretty simple, but it's just awkward more than anything. So now's the time to compare, to make sure you've got the right part. And reinstallation is just the reverse. Get a corner in, because it's, like I said, a bit finicky, a bit tricky, and just force it in. Just use a bit of man strength and just force it in. You've seen the orientation of the way I've done it, so you just do it the exact same way. So once that's in, you feel it under a little bit of tension, slide in the bottom clip and just slap it up. You'll see it click. There you go, and it clicks in, and that'll hold, and it's all airtight, and now you've got a brand new pollen filter giving you clean air. So it's just a reversal of taking it off. Put the foam cover back on. It just kind of just locates in there. You push it, it holds. Once again, I apologise for the poor footage. So there you go. You save yourself a load of money servicing your car yourself. That's it, all done. Hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, so first video back for 2017. And we started off with an Audi A7. We did the oil service and filter service. Now the service directly from Audi came up to £400, but we did it for the price of the filters and, you know, your own time really. Just wanted to show how easy it is and how you can do it yourself if you've got the right equipment and setup, you know, and you can really save yourself a lot of money. The key to good performance and good maintenance of your car is regular oil changes. If you can change your oil regularly, you'll get past 90% of the problems that arise. So I just wanted to show that really, and show people what's involved, and you can do it yourself if you're up for it. We're going to be bringing some more videos more regularly, hopefully on a weekly basis. But the next model to come through will be the Mark 5s. In fact, I've got it here outside. I don't know if you can see that. See that? That's my Mark 5 there. That's what we're going to be looking to do some work on. So, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. I ain't said that in a while. And speak to you soon.